I get so many of my coaching clients through my DMs on Instagram through how I utilize this space. And this is honestly one of the most valuable resources that you can utilize on Instagram. And I'm going to be walking you through today how I actually use the DMs space, what I focus on here, and how I actually get clients from here specifically, because there is an art to it, there is a strategy to it. And once you know that, it becomes really, really simple for you to actually get clients through this space in particular. So I would definitely say, other than Instagram stories, this is the place you want to be really focused on when it comes to actually getting clients from Instagram. So as I said, most of my clients come through Instagram DMs, and usually they come through a conversation which we've had. So I'll usually, I think for probably 90+% of clients, I would say that come through Instagram, we always have a conversation in the DMs, which leads to them then signing up to work with me or booking a sales call, especially if you have a high ticket offer. Especially when it comes to high ticket offers, you really, really want to be utilizing DMs. And it makes it such an easy way for you to actually sign clients, because you then do not need all of these fancy funnels. You do not need even application forms for your program to actually get clients. The DMs can be the place that does all of these things and can fulfill all of these needs, especially when you're starting out, rather than wasting time trying to perfect the funnel, trying to get a really perfect and lengthy application form done. You can really just utilize your DMs really effectively. And I would definitely say this is one of the most underutilized places when it comes to Instagram and actually getting clients. So let's walk through how I strategically use DMs to actually get coaching clients for my business. The very first thing that I always do is really utilize my DMs to specifically connect with my leads. This is not just random conversations that I'm having. It's not just random people I'm messaging or random people I'm engaging with, etc. This is really the place that you want to be having one-to-one connections with people who are already thinking about working with you. So these are not new leads. These are not, this person just followed me, or I just found this person somewhere, so let's now try and connect with them thinking this is going to turn into a client. We actually want to use this space to really engage with people who are already leads. So this is the space where we look at the metrics from things like your posts, things like your stories, and see, okay, who is actually already potentially a lead? And then we utilize the DMs to really nurture those people into potentially being a client. So this could be people who are, liking your posts, people who are actually watching your stories, people who have engaged with your stories, people who commented on your posts, any of those things above, anything which implies that they are somewhat potentially thinking about working with you. We don't know that for a fact necessarily, but there's a good chance they've thought about working with you, or they at least like what you're doing and they want to learn a bit more because they've been watching your Instagram stories for 3 weeks straight, for example. And actually use this space to build relationships with these people. As I said, do not use this space for finding leads. This is not the space to be saying, okay, where are my leads? Let's find some leads. This is the space to say, okay, I found my leads through stories, through posts. I can see who's a potential lead, and I'm going to nurture them through the DMs. So actually having conversations with them, building, as I said, that one-to-one connection, really focused on building a relationship with these people, so that firstly, they're actually seeing more of your content, because the more you're actually communicating in the DMs with this person, it just tells Instagram that, hey, they like each other. They have some kind of connection here. So I'm going to show Amy, more of Lauren's posts, because clearly she, likes her because she's been having a conversation with her in the DMs. So really helpful from that perspective. Secondly, really helpful from the perspective of it means that people are actually engaged with you and get to build a relationship with you. So it makes it so much more likely that they're going to decide to work with you based on the relationship they've built with you when it comes to them hiring someone who does the thing which you do. So that's the first thing. I really utilize the space to really just connect with my leads and just build those relationships there with the people who I already know are leads. The second thing which I always do, and this is what really takes it from just, okay, I have some leads, I have a lot of nurturing going on, now what? Where are the clients? This is the second piece which is important. I will begin a sales conversation where it is applicable. And this is the important part which most people miss when we talk about this conversation. Where it is applicable, we'll have a sales conversation. So a lot of clients, they, as I said, will have a conversation with me in the DMs, either about something potentially that they're struggling with and having a conversation around, I saw that you did that post on 3 tips to help with signing your first client, for example. Yeah, I've been really struggling with that. I've been finding that difficult for the last few months, haven't signed my first client yet, etc. So they'll often talk about, something they are struggling with, which will just naturally come up in the conversation, not at all from me fishing and saying, what are you struggling with in your business at the moment? Anything like that. But just when we're having conversations, because they're already a lead, it's really easy for them to just, share those things and just respond to posts, respond to stories, etc. So it's very much coming from them leading the conversation there. But sharing something they're struggling with is the first thing, or usually in that space, the big marker for beginning that sales conversation will be that they're really deciding on which programs. They're saying, oh, I saw, I have a question about this course which you put out, or yeah, I definitely want to join this masterclass. I'm really struggling with this. Would this program help me? And actually talking through that. So any of those specific things is just a marker that we can potentially begin a sales conversation and start talking with that person of how I can actually help you here. So this is really the space where you can utilize the personal side of this, right? You can really lean into giving one-to-one support essentially with people because it's a one-to-one conversation. So you can actually reach out to that person. If someone said, for example, using the example before, they're struggling with getting their first client, they've been trying for months, that is a space where I can then just personally advise them just how I could help them. I can just share with them, actually this is exactly what I do. I've helped a lot of clients with getting their first clients. Is that something you would want to talk about in terms of how I could potentially help you with that? And this is where you can then personally invite them to actually talk about working together. This is where I say begin a sales conversation and not have a sales conversation, because we do not ever just begin a sales conversation straight off and say, you know what, you'd be a great fit for my program. Here's the pricing of it. Here's the application form. Here's where you can sign up, etc. What we want to do really is invite them to have a sales conversation. And we're here saying essentially, do you want to talk about working together? Are you potentially interested in having that conversation versus this is the program? So essentially just ask him for the consent, really, just inviting them. Do you actually want to have this conversation before we start having this conversation? And really the key part here, where this first piece really matters so much, is it's the relationship that you're creating here that really makes this just a safe and open space for these sales conversations. If we were to not do any of these pieces, if we were not going to be actually connecting with the leads, engaging, just building relationships there, then actually just coming in with this can feel very sudden. It can feel very shocking, and you're usually not going to get to that place even where someone is actually, just reaching out about something they're struggling with, or actually reaching out that they're looking at a certain program and asking your opinion on which one's going to be the best fit, etc. So it's really helpful actually to just focus on having that conversation. And then this step really just comes in, as I said here, where applicable. So when that does actually just come up, that is the time for you to then be having that conversation. So here are the two things I really specifically focus on. Those are the two things you really want to be doing when it comes to DMs in terms of actually finding clients in that specific space and how you can best utilize that to actually get your leads to convert into clients at the end of the day through Instagram. So let me know in the comments what has been really helpful for you from this video. What are you going to be implementing? And do you get most of your clients through Instagram at the moment, or is this something you're moving into? Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you tomorrow in the next video.